Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Take notes, grab a pen. I'm back. Me and my man Jojo. We are doing some WWE rivals, and we are going to do overrated rivals, underrated rivals, best rivals, rivals that are a waste of time, and a rival that you would have loved to see. So, Jojo, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. How about you, my boy?
I'm good. I was thinking about this on the way to my destination earlier.
Yeah.
I was glad you had texted me. So I was like, I still wanted to, put something out there.
Oh yeah, man.
So rivals. I know we was talking about like on our one episode. So you've been a fan for how long?
Been a fan since out the womb. Out the womb, fresh
Out the
out the
womb?
womb. So, man, like I started, my grandma put me on wrestling. So like my family, like everybody in my house loved wrestling. So
Hmm.
like my grandma had like all VHS tapes of Austin and Bret Rock. You know, you had Hogan, unfortunately. Um,
Mm.
Ric Flair. You had Ricky Steamboat, which a lot of people don't talk about. Ricky Steamboat was a monster.
Yeah.
You had you just had like a lot of legends out there, and it all roots within the storyline. So like you got great rivalries like Austin and Rock, Cena and Orton. You got Triple H and Undertaker, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. You could say Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, Hogan and Rock. Like it's a
Hmm.
whole lot of rivalries that's very iconic when you going back and look at the WWE format.
Yeah. So um let's start with your favorite rivals of all time.
Ooh, favorite rivals. Tie for me. I'm gonna go Cena and Orton
Hmm.
and Rock and Austin. By far, two of my favorite rivalries ever. Like when you look at it, man, Cena and Randy was always on site. It wasn't no ifs and no buts. This man pulled his dad out of the front row,
Yeah.
punched him in his head. He handcuffed Cena, had a match with Cena dad on Monday Night Raw, and you think that was, man, you know Cena ain't let that slide. So I really enjoyed that because like this really showed like when Randy started to like tap into like that evil side of him. Then
Yeah.
also showed like this was when we was really finna get the peak and the rise of Randy Orton. And then when you go to Austin and Rock, two of the biggest icons in WWE history, you got Rock, who is the Hollywood icon, and then you got Austin, who's the icon of the Attitude Era. Those two dudes was on site. It all started from when Austin was just rising in the Attitude Era, while Rock was in the Nation of Domination. That brewed from there, and then Rock sells out to the corporation, then Austin started beefing with the corporation. WrestleMania 15, they had their differences, and this carried on until Austin got put out of action by Rikishi. You know, I did it for The Rock, I did it for, all that.
Yeah.
Austin was gone until like 2000, and he actually helped Rock win the WWE title at Backlash, and he left again. He came back. They did the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match with Rock, Austin, Triple H, Rikishi, Undertaker, and Kurt Angle. And next thing you know, they had a match for the World Heavyweight Championship with the WWF title at WrestleMania 17, arguably one of the greatest main events ever. Then this right now we down Rock 0, Austin 2. Austin has always had his number. So the invasion storyline happened. You had, Austin was on the Alliance. You had Rock was on Team WWF. Rock get his first pinfall on Austin. So that carries on to like I won't say WrestleMania 18 because Rock went against Hogan, also went against Scott Hall. So this is when Rock embraced that Hollywood gimmick of himself. You know, he was a heel. People booed him. He played the guitar. Austin's last match, WrestleMania 19, was a very great match too as well. When you had Rock as a heel one more time versus Austin, and this time you had Rock get the best of Austin. Both of them held high. Finally see Rock actually get his number in the singles match against Austin. Austin rise into the sunset. And you see like that, like that's what I really like because I love the callbacks. Like Rock mentioned in one of his promos, he did it all in the business. He's won the WWF title, he's won the IC title, he's won the Rumble, he's main evented Mania, but he never beat it Austin. And at WrestleMania, he did what he always said he was gonna do, and that was whoop Austin, and he did that. So those two rivalries was really made me like a WWE fan in a way, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna say that The Rock and Triple H
Oh, that was good too.
rivalry was probably my favorite.
Oh, that was good.
Like, I feel like one of the greatest rivalries of WWE Attitude Era. Especially like The Rock being the baby face.
Hmm.
Especially after Stone Cold, he stepped away during injury. So with Triple H being like the great heel that he was, and a quarter like century later, both men are successful. You know, and The Rock, is a Hollywood actor. We all know that. But he's definitely like one of the most famous people in the world. And now Triple H is the WWE CEO.
Hmm.
COO, my bad. And I feel like they both was very creative in the ring. They main evented the first SmackDown, so that was a good one. And like I said, I just feel like that rivalry is very important to the WWE or WWF, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think like I'm speaking on what it means now. You know what I mean? To like them being successful, they held it down. I think that will always be like one of my favorites, and I feel like nobody really talks about that rival like they should. So definitely say one of the best throughout the Attitude Era. Um, it's so many more I can name, but we'll get into it that episode. I
Oh
just feel
yeah.
like that one right there is like one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
So list some of your some rivalries that you think is overrated.
Ooh, overrated. And I really hate to say this. I'm gonna really say, dang it, I want to say Scott Steiner and Triple H. And it's not Scott Steiner's fault, nor is it Triple H's. I just really feel like they didn't really have chemistry. I think Scott Steiner, when he first popped up in WWE, he was this big time, name who was a free agent, matter of fact, popped up at Survivor Series 2002, took out Matt Hardy and his protege.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people thought Scott Steiner was going to win another world title in WWE. Going back and looking at his run in WWE, it was very underwhelming. Triple H and Steiner just didn't have chemistry. This really led to like a big fallout between Steiner and the WWE, which made him like, get his release. Um, it's just very unfortunate because when you have like a big star in Steiner, who was a big star in WCW, who's also in the WWF before he crossed over to WCW with his brother Rick. And then you got Triple H, who was arguably one of the biggest stars on the planet at the time. You would think they'd have like a good rivalry, with Steiner being face and Triple H being heel. It just, the chemistry wasn't there. And it was just like, and it was already sinking because of Steiner's underbooking, in a way, if that makes sense. And it's very unfortunate, like I said, because like it had potential. I feel like if Steiner was booked properly, the the storyline, well, the rivalry probably could have been better, but it is what it is. But it's like, dang, man, it's so much right there. Big star in WCW, coming to WWE, the biggest, arguably one of the biggest stars in the company at the time, chemistry wasn't there, and it sucks.
Mm. This may be a hot take. This may be a hot take. Randy Orton and Triple H, overrated, in my opinion. And I'm gonna say this because the WrestleMania events, like it's not like it was when he first got kicked out of Evolution, and it was always that DX versus Rated RKO clashes, and it's like the few it spanned over like for a year, and it began at like the No Mercy 2007,
Hmm.
and I think many fans could argue that the three-match series between these two, like especially like that night, was like the highest point of the rivalry. If a lot of people don't remember the 2007. No Mercy. Go watch that.
Yeah.
But they also main event back-to-back WrestleMania events. I mean, we all know one included the John Cena, the triple threat one.
Hmm.
But the several pay-per-views between, like the story would end up like centering their wives. It became like personal, which is Orton attacked Stephanie. Triple H broke into his house. You had some of these cheesy ass segments to where, like I just said, he'll break into a house or something like that. And then attack the woman that was really his wife. That actress played Randy Orton's wife. Like that ain't nowhere, Samantha. But I just feel like to show how overrated this dual feud is, it closed at 25, WrestleMania 25, ahead
Right.
of arguably WrestleMania's greatest match between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. So I mean, that may be a hot take. I just feel like that one was very overrated.
I can't say overrated, but I can say the match at Mania was very underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
This is like when they really was building Raw around Randy. I
Hmm.
just feel like I think the match would have been better personally if it would have been like a street fight or anything like that. But you had them do like a regular, titles match, one on one, no stipulation or
Yeah.
nothing. I just felt like, bro, you just had this man break into this man's house and throw him
Hmm.
out the front window and there's no stipulation behind it. So I just felt like that was like a bit of a bummer in a way. They could have did like a Hell in a Cell match, steel cage. They could have did no hold
Right.
bar, like ambulance match or anything like that. They would have added some type of stipulation, a fire stipulation at that. I think that match could have probably saved the rivalry, but it's like, bro, when you have a rivalry that's this personal, and you don't put like a stipulation behind it, it's like, what are we doing, man? It's gonna be
Mhm.
underwhelming. And it's like, I respect both of these legends, but it's like, come on, man. You got to add something for that.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. These is both your boys. So
All
leave
right.
leave biases out.
All right.
John Cena versus The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Overrated or underrated?
I'm gonna go properly rated. I'm gonna go properly rated. And the reason why I say this is because during the time when Rock first came back to WWE, it was some heat between Cena and Rock because Cena said what he said about Rock when he first left for Hollywood, and he didn't come back until like he left in '04, and he didn't come back until like 2011. So it was like they was already not really rocking with each other like that. And for them to like actually take personal shots against each other and like promo battles, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was overrated, but then again, I don't think it was how I'm trying to say is I don't think it was both of their best rivalries, if that makes sense. Like I always think like Rock's Rock's Joker is Austin. I think Cena's Joker is Randy. I just always believe that's how it is, and that's how it's always gonna be.
Hmm. I'm gonna say overrated. The chemistry was good. I get that, but I feel like when he first returned in 2011, The Rock.
Hmm.
We all know who he took aim at, and John Cena at that time was the poster boy. And from you appearing from satellite, this and that, talking shit, took you a while to appear in person. So, and many people will say this was like the dream match. I know I was excited to see it,
Hmm.
but when it finally came around, it was expected to be like average. Not surprisingly, but I felt like what you just said about Triple H and Orton,
Hmm.
that match could have been more. It got a little personal,
Yeah.
but it was once in a lifetime. Am I correct?
Right.
And then a year later, you will get the rematch for the championship.
Hmm.
So I felt like they could have done more to this, but right, what they did for it was definitely overrated.
Ooh.
And now that it has stopped, I mean, not like it has stopped the WWE from reportedly promoting it as one of the greatest feuds ever, but I don't agree with that.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to disagree. The only reason why I'm gonna disagree is because like I enjoyed the personal and promo, the
Hmm.
personal attacks and the promo battles. Like this storyline happened like before WrestleMania 27 and it ended at 29. So this was almost going on for like 2.5 years between Cena and Rock.
Yeah.
Rock said he said this the night after Mania when Cena lost to Miz, he was like 101 against Rock. And next year's Mania, so this was something they was doing it for a while. Rock came, he left for a little bit, came back with a full beard. Cena talked trash about Rock having promos on his wrist. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Rock is the greatest talker on the mic. But Cena was hitting with some heat. He said, I don't need to write my promos on my wrist. I was like, I'm like, Rock, you gotta fight back. Then Rock said, I'm gonna rip your throat out. I was like, God, like this is what I like to see. I like to see the intensity in that. And it was just,
Yeah.
and I don't think the match is bad, but I am gonna have to go back and watch it because it's been so long since I've seen it. But I think it did its job though, in a way. I
Yeah.
really think it should have just happened once, but I mean, I'm not complaining about it happening twice because like it's two of the biggest stars in the world at the time. So I mean, why not?
Pretty much
But
the same fighting each other for real. Both of them went
yeah,
Hollywood. So
yeah.
yeah, it was just
And
pretty much like
like if you looking at it like in kayfabe, like storyline wise, Cena is a hypocrite.
mhm,
He is because everything he said about The Rock, he
pretty
went
much
on and
followed
became the same thing as him.
pretty
So
much followed in his footsteps.
pretty much. Still my guy though. Love you, Cena. I love you, man. I'm gonna see it, bro. I'm gonna see you soon in Nashville, man. I'm just letting you know this now, bro. If you ever run up on this video.
So this was by far disappointing.
Mhm.
Overrated. Sting versus Triple H
Yeah, I agree.
was, but I felt like, all right, when he finally debuted on the WWE television at that Survivor Series, I was like, ooh, my man, cool. The world went crazy, and I know I was one of them.
Yeah,
One of the wrestling's biggest legends was on WWE for the first time ever, and he pretty much helped the Authority go out of business.
right.
So the black and white Sting was best known for like the vigilante against what they say, abuse of power.
Yeah,
So
something like that. Yeah.
the role was perfect in my opinion. So, however, I don't know if you remember, within weeks, it was getting a little corny. He returned months later to take aim at Triple H, which led up to the WrestleMania match.
Hmm.
Now, only thing I'm gonna tell you about that match at the WrestleMania was Triple H's intro. That probably was the only thing I really
Yeah,
liked.
that intro was hard.
The intro was the best, but the match was weak. You kind of watered down the storyline. It the promo was garbage. So I was like, matter of fact, I'm gonna change it from overrated to probably one of the worst. I think this is probably
Ooh.
one of the worst I've ever seen.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that storyline. I do remember like
Yeah.
we finally got like an NWO versus DX. But I mean
Yeah,
it was like 15, 20 years too late in a way.
it was. It was.
And I love and like I respect both of these legends, but I think the wrong person won that night. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I
And like,
agree.
I do think Sting is another guy who was very underbooked in WWE. I
Yeah.
don't think he should have lost to Triple H. I really wish at this time because like this is like when Bray and Undertaker was going in. I really do wish we would have got a Sting and Undertaker match just
Man,
because of the heck of it, man.
I was gonna say that for one of my dream rivals.
Same,
I
man.
think that would have been
Same.
a that would have been one of my dream matches. I would have loved to see that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one of the underrated rivalries that I felt they could have made it phenomenal. I'm gonna say Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho.
Ooh, that was a good one. I like that one.
It was a good one and it's not talked about. You know, I felt like Jericho and Rey Mysterio, they both had like endless amount of fantastic, like I mean, rivalries. Like
Hmm.
so, trying to figure out how I'm gonna word this. I'm just so disappointed that people don't speak on this rival like they should. Okay, I'm gonna say overlooked. People overlook this one.
Right.
So both of them like starting almost immediately after like they both was traded to SmackDown in 2009. And then I'm sitting here thinking like that could be dope, Jericho and Ray. And then,
Hmm.
because wasn't he like the Intercontinental Champion at the time? Rey Mysterio was.
I
Or
think
no?
so. I think he had just got off JBL at Mania. I think.
Mhm. So I remember like he was trying to unmask Rey Mysterio. Like his first attempt was like unsuccessful, of course. And then I think like uh they fought each other at Judgment Day. But I love that match. And then they had a rematch at that Extreme Rules like the following month. And I
Right.
was like, wow. And I think that's when Jericho finally removed the mask completely.
Hmm.
So I was like, yeah, this could have been one of the best. Like, but I just felt like, damn, should have put more work into it.
Yeah.
But
If I had to go with like an underrated rivalry, I got a lot of them. I really enjoyed Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. I enjoyed John Cena versus Daniel Bryan.
Mhm.
I really like Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov. I
Yeah,
really enjoy that. Both ring technicians. Same with the other guys. Like Cena is not an in-ring technician, but like he could go. And like when you put him in the ring with somebody like DBs, you just gonna get nothing but like greatness. And
mhm.
like at the time, like this is when the Yes movement was first peaking. Like
Yeah,
at the SummerSlam match, Daniel Bryan got the win off Cena. Triple H came in. Randy Orton came in, cashed in 1, 2, 3. That's it. I really enjoyed that match. I really enjoyed the magic they did. Same with Gunther and Ilya. If you go back and watch their NXT Takeover match, I want to say the NXT UK match as well. Then you got Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio, arguably the greatest opening of a match card of any match card ever.
yeah.
Like, go back and when you're going back and watching SummerSlam 2002, you got Ray versus Kurt Angle. If I had to rate this on the scale from 1 to 5, I'm giving this a 5-star match. Like that's how great that was, especially for an opener. So that's gonna set the tone for the audience. They're gonna be
Yeah.
locked into the whole pay-per-view. Then not only that, you got Rock and Rock main event. So yeah, that's probably one of the ones, like one of the three that I really enjoyed especially like when you watching the in-ring work. I really enjoy those rivalries.
What about Batista versus Undertaker?
That was a very good rivalry too. Like especially two of the headhunters of SmackDown going against
Mhm.
each other. You
Yeah,
know, Undertaker got his name at Mania 23. They really went at it for a long time though. I remember they did something at Backlash and they did something at the next pay-per-view. I think it was One Night Stand. And I actually think Batista went over on Undertaker in this rivalry. The first time, I think so. Then
yeah.
they had another encounter years later, well, a couple
Hmm.
of I think the next year or something like that, they had another encounter. Then they had another encounter. It was Undertaker, Ray, and Batista in that triple threat, and Undertaker actually came out on top. And that's when we got the Batista heel turn. So yeah, that right there. Yeah, I really enjoyed that rivalry as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely say it's most underrated because as we know now, not back then, but Batista, he gets a bad rap from wrestling fans.
Yeah.
He may not be the most technically like gifted wrestler, but if you give him the right opponent, I think he's perfectly capable of delivering an excellent power
Hmm.
match. And that proved it back in '07. And The Undertaker is definitely, we all know, is a great opponent. Like you just said, despite both men being faces, like being like the face of that brand,
Right.
the two big men, they both had the great feud that began when The Undertaker, he won that Royal Rumble in 2007. Then go to WrestleMania to win the heavyweight championship. Then a month later, they had a rematch under the last man standing rules and brawled to like the draw after Batista like took off. You know, that match right there, those two matches back to back at pay-per-view events, man. Then when they faced inside that steel cage on SmackDown, whew,
Yeah.
it ended up in another draw.
Yep.
And then my man, the GOAT, interjected himself and the
What?
feud abruptly ended. So,
Yep.
my
And I
man,
actually just watched it. I think the last time I seen that match
yeah,
was like it was a couple of years back. It was Austin as a special guest referee. And like I
Mm,
said, Batista actually went over Undertaker. I was like, dang,
that's
for real?
crazy.
I mean, I enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good one. I think that was like one of the most slept on rivalries ever that I can
Yeah,
remember. Um, some people say overrated.
I
Some
can't do
people
that.
say underrated. John Cena versus Edge.
If you don't have Randy and Cena as the greatest rivalry between each other, I understand it because like Edge is like right there. And like when I say this man gave John Cena hell in '06, he gave this man hell. People gotta give these two their flowers because they delivered almost every show possible when they went up against each other. SummerSlam,
Mhm.
you got Unforgiven, you got who else? Backlash, unfortunately. Like you got so many like Edge is like one of them guys like he doesn't like he's very like when you look at in-ring talent in WWE, you got obviously HBK, you got AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, you got Kurt Angle, you got Daniel Bryan, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio at his peak. I mean, he still can go now, but like Edge. Ed was a hooper back then. Like he was very good in the ring. Like very good. And I really think like you put him with somebody with Cena, like I said with Daniel Bryan, you're getting something magical. And that was a very good rivalry too. If you don't have like I said, if you don't have Randy and Cena as the greatest rivalry between each other, I understand it because like Edge is right there.
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like and I think I said this to you, and I said this to plenty of other people, man. And I know other fans who will agree. If you don't disagree, I don't care. I think this was probably Edge's best feud, was probably with Cena. I mean, I'm not taking nothing from the Undertaker and Edge's feud, don't get me
Oh, I
wrong,
agree.
but I feel like this was Edge's best rivalry, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It took his career off. He, like I said, one of the greatest of his career. But fans, like I said, who were watching at the time will definitely remember all like what it conceded and like everything. Starting with Edge cash in his Money in the Bank contract to take Cena's WWE Championship. Cena will take the belt back 3 weeks later.
Mhm.
Edge didn't get any kind of revenge until 5 months later when he cost Cena the championship with Rob Van Dam, if y'all don't remember that.
Yeah.
It and then they had probably one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. And then Edge again capitalized by winning the title back. So
It was very back and
that
forth, I'll tell you that.
and then what was that? Unforgiven 2006. The
Yeah.
TLC match. Everybody thought Cena couldn't win. It's not his environment. He ended up winning that one. So of course we all knew Edge was the heel, but it man,
Yeah.
I love that rivalry, man. I'm sorry. That
Yeah,
was
me
like
too, man. That was a very
that
good
was
rivalry.
that was one of my favorite rivals of all time. I gotta definitely put that in my like top. So not gonna say a number because I got some more, but
Yeah, it's up there though.
Edge and Cena is definitely one of the greatest rivals I've ever seen. I wish they could have like
Did it for
this was two people that would have excited me to see every year, at least one pay-per-view, like fight each other or something like that.
yeah.
But we know that they had other stuff. But I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna take y'all to an overrated one too.
Hit it for me.
WCW versus NWO. Was
Hmm.
was overrated. Very over.
Well, I'm ready to hear this. Why you think it was overrated, man?
Oh my God, there is no denying that NWO versus the WCW, I mean WCW storyline was it was influential. Don't get me wrong, it was influential in wrestling history
Hmm.
and the key to WCW success. But during that Monday Night War, memories of the feud, it's been through like I'm trying to think what happened. Trying to think. You go ahead, and then I'm gonna try to remember. What did you think about that?
This was really before my time, so I really can't speak on it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
it was so that's why I was like, dang, you really think so? But I really didn't like I really think that invasion storyline between WCW and WWE was
Yeah.
very overrated. The only reason why I say it was overrated because like the biggest star in the invasion storyline, like I'm not even counting Austin because he's a WWE guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, it's really I guess you could say somebody like RVD or Booker T, and it's no disrespect to either one of them, but like when you think of invasion storyline, you already picture, oh, we might get Austin versus Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, we did get Rock versus Hogan, like Rock versus DDP, Rock versus Scott Hall, Austin versus Hogan. You know, like names like Triple H versus DDP. You know, Triple H versus you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you think of the invasion storyline, that's what you thinking. So you thinking Austin Rock, Triple H, Taker versus DDP, Hogan, Goldberg, Sting.
Yeah.
You know those guys. That's what you thinking of. Like I, that's why I feel like that's very underrated. Even though it was a good storyline, I just think it would have been better if you would have actually had the bigger guys from WCW in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
probably. That probably would make sense. So,
yeah.
um, this rivalry was kind of goofy, but I want to know your thoughts. Randy Orton versus Christian.
Honestly, I really think this is 2011. This is really some of Randy's best work, especially like I think they had the I can't think of the match they had. I think it was SummerSlam. I think that was a very good match they had. And like when you think about it, like when Randy got good people in front of him that he can actually like make a storyline with, oh that brother's locked in.
Yeah.
He's locked in. But I really enjoyed that storyline. I really hate how he lost the title and Money in the Bank though. Like I really do hate that. Like that kind of like as a kid, that kind of like pissed me off because like, bro, this is the same Randy that slapped the ref and he still kept his title, but as soon as he low blows Christian, he loses his title. Like he didn't even get pinned or he didn't submit. Like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do is shake your head.
I felt like it was decent. Christian was annoying. Of course, he was the heel.
Yeah.
I was just like, God, this guy again.
Yeah.
One more match. I was like, if I hear that shit one more time. Um, do you remember the Dudley Boys when they faced the APA?
Yes.
What you
Yes, I
think
do.
about that? What you think about that?
APA,
Hmm.
the most underrated tag team in WWE history,
Hmm.
the Dudley Boys. I really enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it because I really like when you look at tag teams. There's a lot of great tag teams. Like you got the New Day, the Usos, the
Hmm.
Dudleys. You got the New Age Outlaws. You got the Steiner brothers. You got you got them people and like at the time like where tag teams was like all over the place. Like those two dudes stuck by each other. Like
Yeah,
there was really no. I mean, obviously until Farouk left the company in '04, and Bradshaw turned to JBL, and they had to split between Bubba and Devon when one went to Raw and SmackDown. But like
crazy.
this was a group that stayed together, like, and it's very rare to see that. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good one. I feel like that was one of the most underrated
Yeah.
ones that I've ever seen, and people don't talk about it enough.
Oh yeah.
But okay, let's get to it. Five overrated rivalries. Yeah.
Five overrated. I guess I really didn't like Hogan and Warrior. I mean, I'm just saying it because I don't like Hogan. I really didn't like Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler for obvious reasons
Oh
because it
my
just was
God.
terrible. It was just flat out terrible. I didn't really like hold on, I'm trying to think. Uh, I'm trying to think. Triple H versus Scott Steiner. I didn't enjoy it because, like I said, the chemistry was off. I didn't really like Triple H versus Goldberg because it was like Goldberg was just booked weird in his first run in WWE. And love Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns, but I didn't really enjoy Roman versus Brock either. And to like that's some I think when you look at all the stuff they did, I really like the best match they ever had was easily at SummerSlam. By far to me. I just feel like this was one rivalry between Roman and Brock that they was kind of pushing down our throat in a way, you know what I'm saying?
Mm, mm, mm.
So yeah,
Um,
those
yeah,
lines.
I'm gonna say Hulk and Andre. Um, RP to the great and FU to the racist bastard Hulk.
Right.
Um, The Miz versus Jerry Lawler. They when they tried to make that a rivalry, I felt like that
I forgot that was the thing.
was a waste of time. I'm actually gonna put that in the waste of a storyline feud. Um, that was a joke in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
like what are we doing here, WWE? Like, is this what it's coming to? I'm gonna say Batista versus Ray was an overrated one
Batista
because
versus Ray?
I didn't like how they portrayed each other. Like they tried to
Yeah,
make that kind of irked me. I was like, this overrated. Like two good friends trying to like I'm like, come on, man, let's be real.
I feel you.
Uh, how many is that? What's that? Ray?
That's
What was
three.
it? That's
Yeah, that's
three.
three. Yeah.
Triple H, Undertaker.
Whoa.
No, 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 no. I'm sorry,
Oh,
we're not my favorites. I'm sorry, not my favorites. That's my
oh,
favorite. That's my favorite.
oh, you kind
Uh,
of scared me right there. I ain't gonna lie.
okay, I'm gonna say this. I didn't really. I think Brock and Roman was overrated.
Okay, yeah.
Brock and Roman was definitely overrated. And I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Randy and Triple H was overrated because if it would have been like like I said, around the time when he first got kicked out of Evolution, like I said earlier in the video, the rivalry would have meant something. But it was like now it's on some diva shit. Like, oh, I want I want my company back. I want my belt back. Triple H and Randy was just like they were trying to make him like a dangerous heel. So yeah,
I mean, that nigga was dangerous now. He was dangerous.
he was, but it felt like at one point it wasn't about wrestling no more.
Yeah,
It wasn't about wrestling no more. So that was overrated, right?
yeah.
Um, Underrated.
Ooh, underrated. I'm gonna go. I really like Eddie Guerrero guy versus so Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar. I really enjoy that. Eddie was, he got released his first run in WWE because he had his personal demons. Came back, he basically said in his promo that he lost his wife, he lost his kids, he lost everything, and he came back because God gave him a second chance. You know, shout out to the highest man in the sky.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that because like this was when Eddie became and he defeated all odds. I really like Eddie versus JBL. I really like that too. I really like Ilya. Like I said earlier, I really enjoy Ilya versus Gunther. I like that because this is the guy that always had Gunther's number. I won't even say this is underrated, but I really love CM Punk versus John Cena. I really loved it. Like those two guys, man. You saw what we did the Money in the Bank show. Like those guys are
So,
man.
so
Then he just copied CM Punk's pipe bomb Friday. So I was like, oh my goodness, bro. These dudes literally are on fire every time they are in a program with each other. So those are oh, and I really like Kurt Angle versus Ray especially when they had that opener at SummerSlam. So those a few. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle leading up to Mania was really good too. Arguably one of the most underrated matches at Mania. So yeah, so there's a lot of them out there, man.
mm, underrated, man. Oh, God rest his soul. I felt Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio could have been way more than what it was.
in all
The
time.
the Latino culture they put on for that Latino culture, man. Shout out to the both of them, man.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And it's crazy too, cause like Ray beat like they both were tag team champions, and Ray
mm-hmm.
beat him at Mania.
Right.
And it was like during the time, like when they started kicking this feud off, Eddie couldn't beat Ray. Ray had his number in WCW, had his number in WWE, then boom, he had the little heel turn. And I really like Eddie as a heel or a face, so it really didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Then you add Dominic, who's arguably the biggest heel in the company now. You added him into the mix. So then, like, I think Eddie actually gets one over Ray this time. He gets one over Ray. Then they had it in at SummerSlam with the custody ladder match. Ray won that obviously because that's his son. And and then we rock out with Eddie. Then he started his little thing with Batista before he unfortunately passed his way.
Mm-hmm.
Just rest up to that to the King Eddie Guerrero, man. Gone way too soon, man.
Yeah. That was really like heartbroken when he passed away.
Yeah.
Oh boy, man. Kane versus Undertaker was I'm talking about what was that? The vegetative state part. Was that 2014?
You talking about Undertaker versus
Kane, when they thought he was in a vegetative state and they end up Kane ended up attacking the Undertaker or something like
I
that.
was like, because I know they ended that feud once and for all at like SummerSlam. So I think that was like around 2010. Because this was like
Probably.
When Kane became world champion. I think he got the title off of Ray. And that's when Undertaker came back in that casket. Something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah, so it was around that time. Oh,
Wow.
that's another good one too, a very underrated one. Ray versus CM Punk. That was a very good rivalry too.
Ray was a good one. I feel like Randy Orton and Kofi was a little underrated one too.
It's hard. I can't even rate that one. I ain't gonna lie. The
Why?
only reason why I can't rate it is because like if we're talking about Trouble in Paradise, the Jamaican Kofi, the only reason why I can't really rate it because like this really killed Kofi's run in WWE for a little bit. Kofi was all over the place. He had a tag team with Truth. Thankfully, he got with New Day. Then had Kofi Mania. They ran it again between Kofi and Randy too. I just feel like he did something wrong in that match. And Randy said stupid, 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 or something like that. If you know what I'm talking about. And then I just feel like that rivalry just killed his run. So I can't even really say it's over or underrated. You know what I'm saying? I just think it did what it needed to do. Yeah, man. It's so many underrated rivalries out there that you just can't really like put a finger on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna definitely say CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy.
Oh man, that was a good one. Like this dude basically calling this dude a crackhead on PG television. And I was just
Hmm.
sitting there, and this is like I love Jeff. Like, people were saying like he was bigger than Obama at the time. And to hear CM Punk call Jeff a crackhead, I was like, all
Hmm.
right, gang, you got to bro. And I love Punk. I love Punk. But I was like, gang, you going too far calling this man a crackhead. I'm only 8, 9 years old, bro. I don't need to be hearing this, man. What are you doing?
I'm gonna say the reason why that's overrated was because Punk's eventful like 2011 run with Cena, it kind of overshadowed this feud. And Jeff left the WWE soon after.
Ooh.
Their best match was SummerSlam 2009. And I feel like that was Punk's real breakout as a heel when he became like one of the top villains for Jeff. So,
Oh, I can't. I
uh,
can't. You making my head hurt, man. Oh man, cause I'm like, man, cause I love both of them, but I can't call it overrated, man. I
I'll
just
say
can't.
underrated. Underrated.
Oh, I thought you said overrated. I was
No,
like,
I
oh,
feel like it's
man.
underrated. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, oh yeah. I
So
really think when you look at Jeff, I think Punk is, but it's a lot of them out there though. When you think about it in his singles career, I really think Punk is Jeff's best feud.
yeah,
And Jeff has had a lot of good feuds like outside of WWE and in WWE.
right.
So it's yeah, man, it's very interesting.
Um, so what are some of your dream rivals that you would have loved to see
Oh man, that's
that
easy.
didn't happen?
Sting and Undertaker, that's one. Um, John Cena versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Um, shoot, we can even go out. We can do a WWE and AEW or WWE or outside of a AEW company. We can do Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns. You got Hangman Adam Page versus Cody Rhodes. You got Gunther versus Will Ospreay. You got Ilya Dragunov versus Will Ospreay. Seth Rollins versus Will Ospreay. Um, you got Swerve Strickland versus Seth Rollins. You got there's so many guys out there that you can name. Like you could even do a Prime Rock versus MJF or Miz and
Hmm.
MJF. Like I'm not saying the matches would be good, but like the promos would be great.
Yeah.
LA Knight versus a Prime Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin is like it's a lot out there that you can just throw and name. Like if you want to do tag teams the Usos versus the Hardys. Like you can have that. You got New Day versus the Hardys. You got the Usos versus MCMG. Usos versus
No,
New Age.
I would have loved to see the New Day go against the Dudleys.
Yeah. I mean, it happened,
All three of
but
them.
it was like old though. They were older though.
No, I meant like when Spike was in the joint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Three on
really
three.
another tag team that I found underrated was Paul London and Billy Kidman. They could have did that versus I mean Brian Kendrick. Paul London and Brian Kendrick versus like the New Day or something like that. That would have been dope. Um like it's so much the bloodline versus the elite. Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso versus Kenny Omega, Nicholas, and Mac Jackson. Oh my God. You can't tell me that won't be a main event mania right there. The
Yeah.
bloodline versus the elite sold out arena. Man, I'll
Mm,
sell my house just to see that.
that's
Come on, man.
crazy.
Come on now.
I got one for you.
What's up?
Sting and Undertaker. Like you said, that would have been great. The Vigilante versus the Deadman. That would have been great.
Hmm.
Bret Hart versus Roman Reigns.
Oh, that's different. That's very different.
That's different, ain't it?
Yeah, that's different because like
That's different.
the in-ring styles, AJ Styles versus Bret Hart,
Mm,
Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart,
yes.
AJ Styles versus I hate I'm finna say this. Oh my God, I don't want to say his name, bro. I don't want to say his name. But it's like, man, like I hate what he did, but I have to say it.
Chris Benoit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, man. Eddie Guerrero versus AJ Styles. Eddie Guerrero versus Daniel Bryan. Who else you got? You got Eddie Guerrero versus
I don't think Daniel Bryan would have been able to keep up with Eddie though.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm gonna have to give you a take on that.
I'm saying this right here, right now. Daniel Bryan wouldn't have been able to keep up with Eddie Guerrero. No.
Tech.
Tech
Mara.
nothing. Mm-mm.
No, that's a tech.
No,
That's
it
a
ain't.
tech, man. I gotta give you a take on that one, man.
Nah.
Oh man, I can't man, I'm gonna have to give you a double take on that one. Oh my gosh.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so? I think Daniel Bryan, like, he's probably one of the greatest indie wrestlers ever, man. I think he would though.
He got it. I just don't think he would have kept up with my man Eddie.
Oh man. Oh, CM Punk versus the prime Eddie Guerrero. That's a good one. That's a
I,
real good one.
I would love to see Eddie Guerrero. I mean, CM Punk versus Stone Cold would have been good.
Hmm.
That would have been a good one. Uh,
Man, speaking of Stone Cold, like he's
I wonder why we never saw like The Rock versus Bret Hart. Like
I
why
mean,
we
it
never.
happened, but it's like this is like Rocky Maivia though.
Yeah, that wasn't the same though. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't the
And you
same
know, he had
after
that
that.
career-ending injury when Goldberg kicked him in his head too. So like that messed a lot
Yeah.
of stuff up. But speaking of Austin, you know, he told people at WWE at the last WrestleMania, he said he got one more match in him. So we might get Austin versus CM Punk. So who knows, man? Uh,
Man, that would be
Randy
great.
Orton versus DDP in his prime would have been dope.
Yeah,
I think would have
that
been
was
dope.
Page. That would have been a good
Yeah.
one too.
I think AJ Styles and Eddie would be dope. Who else? But it's a lot of names out there though. A lot of names.
It's
And
so
it's
many people.
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Well, we'll have to come back to that.
Oh yeah.
But appreciate you joining me, my brother.
Oh yeah, man, for
We're
sure.
gonna we're gonna talk some more. Yeah, we'll get ready here in a minute. Anything else you want to add before we out?
The only thing I want to add is the Usos are the greatest tag team of all time. Thank you very much.
Hmm?
Yes. Come on now. Come on now. In WWE history, man. The Usos. Down since day one-ish. Throw the ones up, Marv. Gotta throw the ones up, man. Don't throw the ones up, man. Come on. Bro, don't leave me hanging, man. Gotta throw the ones up. See, I want to the sky. I want to the sky, man. Join the winning team, man. Cause you the twos and we the ones. Now I'm gonna finish.
Hmm. Mhm. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please leave a comment on that doofy part. And thank you for supporting us. Um, please go get drug tested, people. It's a serious,
Come on, man.
thing out here. Usos are not the greatest. The Dudley boys are. Goodbye.